But here is the question that scientists and tourists have been asking for decades. Why?
You have claws that can rip through steel and a bite that crushes bone. But right now, you are backing away.
You are actually afraid. And what are you afraid of?
A 20-pound weasel that looks like a skunk wearing a toupee. Welcome to the insane world of the honey badger.
But here is the question that scientists and tourists have been asking for decades. Why? Why do lions, leopards, and even hyenas run away from something they could physically crush in seconds?
The answer isn't just about strength. It is about economics. Yes, you heard that right.
Nature is a business, and predators are investors. Every time a lion hunts, it is making a calculated investment of energy.
And the honey badger? It is the absolute worst investment on the planet.
Today, on Animal Ranking Hub, we are going to break down exactly why this creature is a biological nightmare. Proving that size literally means nothing when you have the ultimate defense system.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because by the end of this video,
you will understand why the honey badger is the only animal that has hacked the system of natural selection. Let's dive in. To understand why the honey badger is virtually unkillable, we have to start with its armor. But it is not the kind of armor you are thinking of.
When we think of armor in the animal kingdom, we think of the hard shell of a tortoise or the thick scales of a crocodile.
the honey badger takes a completely different approach. It wears a rubber suit. The skin around its neck is 6 millimeters thick. That is thicker than the skin of a buffalo and tough enough to deflect a machete blow.
In fact, traditional arrows and spears used by indigenous hunters often just bounce off them.
But thickness is only half the story. The real secret weapon, the thing that makes lions let go, is how loose that skin is.
Imagine you are wearing a leather jacket that is 5 sizes too big for you. That is the honey badger's daily reality.
Its skin is almost detached from the muscle and bone underneath. This sounds like a disadvantage, but
when a predator like a lion clamps its jaws onto a honey badger, it is usually grabbing that excess loose skin.
Because the skin is not fused tightly to the muscle, the honey badger can literally rotate its entire body inside its own skin.
But the honey badger just twists 180 degrees inside its skin suit, turns around and bites the lion directly on the sensitive nose or lips.
It is physically impossible to pin them down. It is like trying to grab a water balloon covered in oil.
This ability to turn defense into offense instantly is the first reason in our bad economics theory.
What was supposed to be a quick kill has now turned into a wrestling match with a creature that is actively eating your face while you are holding it.
And this rubber armor is just the beginning. The durability of this animal goes far beyond just skin deep. It extends to a skeletal structure that is built like a tank, and claws that are essentially digging machines repurposed for combat.
But even if you manage to penetrate the skin, you run into the next problem: pain. Or rather, the lack of it.
Scientists have observed honey badgers taking punishment that would send other animals into shock. They seem to possess a pain threshold that borders on the supernatural.
And remember, in the wild, an infected scratch on the nose or a bitten paw means a predator cannot hunt.
If a lion cannot hunt, it starves. It sees a high-risk, high-reward gamble that could end its life. But that is just the physical defense. We haven't even talked about the chemical warfare yet.
You might think being bite-proof is cool, but what happens when the enemy attacks you from the inside out?
What happens when the attacker is a King Cobra? with enough venom to kill an elephant. Most animals die in minutes. The honey badger? It takes a nap.
We are about to look at the most mind-blowing biological hack in history. Let's talk about the venom. In the deserts of Africa and Asia, the king cobra and the puff adder are the ultimate dealers of death. Their venom is a complex cocktail of neurotoxins designed to shut down the nervous system, paralyze the diaphragm, and stop the heart.
But the honey badger has evolved a biological cheat code. Imagine a lock and a key. The honey badger has changed the locks. There is a famous piece of footage that went viral. During the struggle, the snake lands a solid bite right on the badger's face. The badger kills the snake, but then the venom hits. The badger wobbles.
But inside the badger's body, its immune system is scrumming the toxin like a biological firewall.
After a nap that lasts maybe an hour or two, the badger wakes up, shakes off the grogginess, and finishes eating the rest of the snake.
This is terrifying for predators. You are dealing with a creature that treats lethal bioweapons like a sleeping pill. But if you think their immunity is scary, their brain is worse. The scariest thing about the honey
Predators prefer predictable prey. Zebras run in a straight line. Gazelles panic. But honey badgers think.
The most famous example of this is a badger named Stoffel. Stoffel was a nightmare. When the keepers locked him in with a double bolt, he figured out how to open it. When they put him in a high-walled pen, he rolled rocks to the corner to create a staircase. When they removed the rocks, he made balls of dried mud and stacked them.
He waited for a keeper to leave a rake behind, and he used the rake as a ladder.
This implies a level of cognitive function called tool usage. An animal that can figure out how to unlock a gate can certainly figure out that a lion has a blind spot. They don't just bite randomly, they target the groin and the eyes. This is calculated aggression.
Furthermore, their brain-to-body mass ratio is the highest of any carnivore except for weasels.
They have huge olfactory bulbs. They can smell prey underground, inside logs, or kilometers away.
It is time to look at the psychological and chemical warfare that makes even the hungriest leopard lose its appetite. Now we get to the heart of the matter. A lion is a biological machine that requires a massive amount of fuel to run. A buffalo is dangerous, but it offers hundreds of pounds of high-quality meat. A gazelle is fast. That is low risk, medium reward.
Now look at the honey badger. It weighs roughly 20 to 30 pounds. Most of that weight is thick skin, heavy bone, and sinewy muscle.
And to make matters worse, that meat is marinated in a foul-smelling liquid secreted from a reversible anal pouch. The honey badger has a chemical defense system similar to a skunk, but arguably worse.
So from a culinary perspective, the honey badger is a disaster. It is small, it is tough to chew, and it tastes like rotting garbage.
To get that 20 pounds of terrible meat, a lion has to spend an absurd amount of energy, chewing on it for 30 or 40 minutes.
The return on investment, or ROI, is negative. In the business world, this is called bankruptcy. In the wild, it is called starvation.
But the calculation gets even darker for the lion when you factor in the risk premium. Predators are actually risk-averse.
If a lion breaks a tooth, it cannot eat. A disabled predator is a dead predator.
The honey badger exploits this fear with a strategy that is as effective as it is dirty. They aim for the groin.
Field biologists and rangers have repeatedly documented honey badgers going straight for the scrotum of larger male animals.
Imagine the psychological impact on a 400-pound male lion, facing a creature that is actively trying to castrate him.
The lion knows that one lucky bite from the badger could cause a hemorrhage or a severe infection in a highly sensitive area.
This is why you will see videos of entire prides of lions, 6 or 7 massive cats, jumping back in fear when a single badger charges at them.
The badger turns the prey's size against it. It forces the lion to realize that there is a cost to this interaction.
There is a specific case study documented in the Kalahari. A young, inexperienced male lion spotted a honey badger trotting across the open plain. The badger didn't run. Instead, it spun around, emitted its rattling war cry, and charged straight at the lion's face. The lion was so taken aback by the aggression that he skidded to a halt.
For the next 10 minutes, the badger chased the lion. Every time the lion tried to flank, the badger turned and attacked the groin area.
Eventually, the lion, panting and exhausted, simply sat down and looked away. He pretended the badger didn't exist. The badger trotted off as if nothing happened. The lion learned a valuable lesson that day. The honey...
But what about the other killers of the savannah? The hyena? Or the leopard?
But as we move into the next section, you will see that for the honey badger, facing these other monsters is just another Tuesday.
If lions are the boardroom executives avoiding a bad deal, then hyenas are the hostile takeover specialists. They hunt in coordinated clans and possess a bite force of over 1,100 psi. That is enough to... Theoretically, a hyena could crack a honey badger in half. But in practice, it almost never happens.
There are documented accounts of a single badger holding off a pack of 6 hyenas for hours.
After 30 minutes of chaos, the hyenas usually get bored. They realize they could have hunted 3 gazelles in the time it is taking to annoy this one badger.
But the most dangerous rival for the honey badger isn't the hyena or the lion. It is the leopard.
Leopards are actually the #1 predator of elderly or sick badgers. They are masters of manipulation.
But for a healthy badger, the leopard faces a unique problem: noise.
It screams. For a leopard, this noise is a disaster. So, even if the leopard wins the fight, it loses the war, a pride of lions will likely show up to steal the carcass.
The honey badger weaponizes this chaos. It knows that making a scene is its best chance of survival.
They suffer from a terminal case of what we might call the Napoleon complex. They are small, so they act huge. If a honey badger walks into a clearing and sees a buffalo, it doesn't walk around it. It charges it.
When something small runs toward them, their instinct says, "This thing must be dangerous if it is this confident."
This bluff is why the honey badger is the undisputed bully of the savannah. They don't just defend, they conquer. They will dig into a burrow of a warthog and take over the home. They take what they want when they want it.
But now we have to ask, is there anything that can stop them? If an elephant stepped on one, it would die. But they are the ultimate masters of survival, because they have hacked the psychology of the animal kingdom. They survive because they refuse to act like prey. They survive because they make the price of killing them so...
If we were to give the honey badger a title...
The honey badger is the CEO of the jungle. It doesn't care about titles, it cares about results.
It is a walking, growling example of the bad economics theory in action.
The next time you are facing a problem that seems too big to handle, just channel your inner honey badger.
Now, I want to hear from you. Maybe a wolverine or a Komodo dragon. Let me know who you would bet your money on in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that subscribe button right now, stay fearless, and we will see you in the next ranking.